I'm Harlan, your backyard grill sergeant, here to take your grilling to the next level. Today, I'm going to show you how to grill the perfect steak. Well, the first step in grilling a perfect steak is actually choosing the steak that you like, because the perfect steak is actually a subjective term. I like a steak with a lot of fat in it, a big thick steak. You might like a steak that's a little thinner, or you might like a nice filet mignon like this here that has very little fat in it but will be amazingly tender. So once you have the steak that you choose, you go ahead and start by seasoning it. I like to start with some kosher salt. This is actually coarse. I like to use coarse salt. So I start by sprinkling the salt over the steak like this. I like to give it a nice coating and let it start soaking in. I don't like to use regular table salt so much because it soaks in and disappears really fast. The coarse salt sticks on a little longer and you can see what you're doing better. Don't forget to season the edges. There, after that, once you get it all nice and seasoned on one side, you flip them over and repeat. So, a little trick I learned, the salt will help the steak taste a lot better when you put some in your hand like this, and you go like this, and you salt the steak like that. Yeah, that helps a lot, by the way. Once you get your steak all salted, I like to actually layer the flavors. So today I'm going to be using this McCormick's Grill Mates Montreal steak seasoning. So you just take and you put it on just like you did the salt. Don't forget to season the edges. There, once you get it all seasoned on one side, I like to take and actually tamp the seasoning in a little bit. I don't rub it, I just like to push it in a little bit. This helps it just stick to the meat a little better. Flip the steaks and repeat. Now at this point, I like to use pepper next, fresh ground pepper, but I've been handling the steak. I've been handling it with this hand, so I'm going to go wash my hands and I'll be right back. Alright, now I got my hands all nice and clean. I'm going to start adding the fresh ground pepper. I like to use fresh ground pepper because it adds a lot better flavor than just regular pepper that you get, from the dollar store or whatever. So I like to just add a good nice amount, about the same. When you're adding seasoning, it's really all to taste. Some people like a lot, some people like a little. There, now you can see the steaks are all neatly and nicely seasoned, just like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap them back up in their butcher paper, put them back in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours, and then I'm going to meet you at the grill. Alright, it's been just about 4 hours, and so I'm going to go ahead and get the grill started up. I like to use a mixture of about 50% Kingsford charcoal. I use this for my heat source, and I like to use about 50% of the Cowboy brand oak and hickory hardwood lump charcoal. What this does is it adds a real nice smoke and a nice layered flavor to the steaks. Alright, now I'm over here at the fire pit. I'm going to go ahead and fill up my chimney with the Kingsford charcoal, get it lit, and put it in the grill. Okay, now the regular Kingsford charcoal is lit. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of the lump charcoal. See, these are nice big pieces of wood charcoal. Add them right on, just like that. All right, now we're ready to put the cooking grates back in, close it up, and let it get fully lit. All right, now that the grill is all lit and it's up to temperature, which actually is right about 350 degrees inside, I'm gonna go ahead and put the steaks in. So now at this point, I like to have the steaks as far away from the charcoal or the heat source as possible. So what I did is I put the charcoal all the way to one side that's away from the chimney, and then all the way down as far as the tray will allow me to go. And then I'm going to take the steaks and put them up on the top shelf as far away from the charcoal as possible. This will keep them from overheating too quickly. All right, now the steaks are all on the fire. I'm going to actually go ahead and at this point use a thermometer. Instead of time, I'm going to take and bring the steaks up to about 120 degrees. Go ahead and place the thermometer. I like to put it in the thinnest steak. All right, now they're all in. I'm gonna go ahead and close it up and let them start coming up to temperature nice and slow. Okay, now you can see that the steaks are approaching 100 degrees, so it's time to go ahead and flip them over and let them finish. Right, as you can see inside here, you see the charcoal is all the way over to the right. The steaks are on the top shelf all the way over to the left. And now I'm going to go ahead and just get them flipped over. Alright, now the steaks are getting kind of close. They're about 120 degrees. Once they get to 130 degrees internal temperature, I'm going to go ahead and spread the charcoal out a little bit in there so to give me a little bit larger cooking area. And then I'm going to bring the charcoal all the way up with this crank handle as close as I can get it to the grates. Then I'm going to bring the steaks down to the bottom grate, so that the steak is nice and close to the fire, and finish it off nice and hot and fast. Okay, this steak here has hit 130 degrees internal temperature, so I'm going to go ahead and take the leave-in thermometer out and put it over here. And now I'm going to switch to a quick check thermometer that looks like this. This is a Weber, and you just turn it on. And as you can see, holding it over the fire, it says 110, 105 degrees. So it tells you the temperature really quick. So I'm going to insert it into this steak, and as you can see, this one is telling me 122. The really thick steak, 110. Filet mignon is 109. The other filet mignon is 112. So it looks like this is the hottest steak right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring the other 3 steaks down to the bottom and get them cooking, and leave that one up top just for a little extra longer. I've spread the charcoal out a little bit in the bottom. So let's start by taking the big guy down. I'm gonna bring him down, put him right over the nice hot part of the fire. I haven't brought the charcoal up yet though. Nice. All right, it's been a few minutes. Let's get this open back up. Flip these steaks over. the internal temperature. All right, this one is 130 internal, 127, 110 on the big thick one. That one's going to come up a little slower. So I think it's time to go ahead and bring the other steak down. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy. He was cooking a little faster, so that's why I left him up top where it was cooler longer. So now that should even them out. Go ahead and shut her down. Wait a couple more minutes. Okay, I think at this point I'm gonna go ahead and put the leave-in thermometer back in. I'm gonna put him in one of the filet mignons. There we go. That way I can monitor the temperature a little more closely when the lid is down. All right, now I'll just continue this process, flipping them, I'd say about every 10 degrees until they're about completely finished. So my target on the thick one, I'm gonna go with a nice 155 to 160 degrees with the thick steak. One of the filet mignons, I'm gonna do well done, which is 170 degrees. The other filet mignon is going to be medium rare, which is 150 to 155, and medium rare on the thinner ribeye. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue and show you the process just a little bit as I go. All right, the steaks are starting to get up another 10 degrees, so I'm going to go ahead and take out the leave-in thermometer and flip them over. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. These things are getting really close. So now I'm going to put the leave-in thermometer back in, wait another 10 degrees, and flip them again. Well, there you have it, folks. 4 perfect steaks. One medium well, medium rare, another medium rare, and a well done. All perfectly done. So that's how you do it. Low and slow at first, and then hard and fast at the end. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Backyard Grill Sergeant. Next time, I'm going to show you how to properly season an offset smoker.